Hello and welcome to my channel, AB Make It Artwork, where we do what we do to make that artwork for you. And if you're new to my channel, maybe hit that subscribe button, join the AB Creative Crew. We do sketchy art things. Today's video is going to be an art ramble, and for some of you, you're going to be like, oh, this is kind of new, and for others, it's like, oh, not another one of these videos. Ugh. But I recently finished the 3-part series that Shane Dawson did on TanaCon and the whole mess that was, and I wanted to throw out my perspective on some of the things that made me really upset about the planning and the event. So I wanted to give my perspective as a former convention head in regards to TanaCon. And if you're curious, I have 4 years experience with helping out and running conventions. I created and ran a convention for 2 years, and it is known as TanaCon, Alaska's first ever fandom convention. And a little disclaimer is that since I am no longer affiliated as being the convention head or anything in regards to TanaCon, any opinions or thoughts expressed in this video have nothing to do with any of the thoughts or ideals that TanaCon represents as a fandom convention. So just a little legality kind of warning there, because I felt that's appropriate. But yeah, I have 4 years experience running conventions, helping conventions, making conventions, and doing convention stuff, as 2 specific years where I was a convention head and creating a convention from the bottom, from nothing, raising money, doing all the stuff. So here I'm gonna go back and forth for points of things that were very troublesome to find out as far as the planning information, and then why I think it's so weird. So the first thing that I think is really strange is that in regards to TanaCon, they had a second party planning the convention. And if you're in the convention scene, or you've made your own convention and have been the head of a convention before, you know that most really big conventions are their own nonprofit organization entity. So personally, it seems very strange to take someone as an event planner and make them plan on a convention, because these are organizations usually built to run and maintain just the convention. And that's as far as I know how most conventions start out, is a group of people select a little organization that makes themselves a nonprofit, and they're just focused on being the convention. So having a third party that does conventions, really weird, really sketchy in my opinion. 2 months is not enough time to plan a damn convention. Half a year is not enough time to plan a convention. And you want to know why? Because planning a convention takes all year. And when it comes to my convention, it was still small, so it was a 1-day event. And you know what? That takes an entire year to plan out, whether it be for guests, volunteers, booths, venue, food, everything. It takes, at minimum, about a year to plan out a big event where you're going to have a bunch of people. Or starting out, you start small and you expect maybe a couple hundred in a small venue, and that's usually what you should start off with. So it's takes a year to raise money, raise awareness, get the shit together. 2 months is not enough time. And for most of us, if you're planning anything that is a weekend event in less than half a year, that is a suicide event. Everyone's gonna hate each other, everything's gonna be super stressful, and it makes no sense for anyone to take on an event that big, 4 days, supposedly 5,000 people, in 2 months. Makes no freaking sense, and is sketchy as all heck if someone agrees to that. Third thing that I thought was really blatant in the videos is that there was a large gap in communication, whether that be from the volunteers in the convention committee, whether it be from the staff of the organization that was like working to make the event, and the client, which is TanaMojo. Like, she obviously doesn't know how to run conventions, she doesn't know this stuff, and she's trusting a second party to run the convention for her and to do this stuff. Like, she's expressing what she wants, and it's like, it's unrealistic that this person even agreed to do this event in 2 months. And it's like, I will give her that leeway that she didn't realize that it takes a year to make this kind of event. But it's like, the lack of communication saying, hey, we need to take much longer, or hey, I'm checking in with all you volunteers because we're going to be doing this stuff. But also, the lack of communication to the customers, the people attending the convention, was atrocious. Because it's like, from my perspective, if you're the convention head, you're the person that everyone's going to be looking to for answers. You need to meet up with volunteers 2 months in advance, twice a week in those, like, both of those months, do calls. You have to be at the location with your security group and volunteers a week before the event so that they know the layouts. And it's like, they had to be there the day before to like really understand where they're going to be. And then it's like, your staff also have to be at the event 2 hours before you expect anyone to come into the event, 3 hours sometimes, and the day before, so that they can set up, you know, freaking tents so people aren't burning freaking to 3rd degrees up in the freaking sunshine for several hours. God, that really could have just been solved with some freaking tents where they expected people to be, which is like really stupid side tangent. But there's just like no communication, and it's like, the client was communicating to the event company what she wanted. Tana was communicating what she wanted with her event, but it's like, communication kind of ends there. That like, oh, I'm gonna get you these things, but it's like, oh, by the way, we're having such and such problems. Like, no one's troubleshooting because no one's addressing problems. And it's like, I'm a little unaware of all the entirety of their communications because I don't have footage. I wasn't there. But it's like, you have to be on top of talking with all of your crew and your customer and your client, your host, your volunteer, your security staff, just like so much stuff. Now, the final thing, which is kind of the most important and like the most troublesome, is the blatant misinformation that they put down in contracts. Because, like, that's the last thing you'll see in the videos that Shane Dawson did, is that they have contracts. This Michael dude says that he's going to try to fucking sue the Marriott freaking hotel, saying that they could hold 5,000 people. But it's like, on your contract, you wrote down 1,000 people were going to attend. You had over 5,000 people at your event. And I'm not going to say anything more than 5,000 because, like, that's the amount of tickets that sold. Which is another thing. They should not have sold 5,000 VIP tickets. Like, VIP tickets should be like about 10% or less of your usual amount of expected people participating so that they can be very important people. But putting wrong information, like, you had to put explicit details of what's going to be at your event, how many people do you expect to be at your event, usually overestimate a little bit how many people you expect to be at the event, because that way it's much safer for the people who are attending, it's much safer for the hotel, it's much safer for you. Like, if you're not reading through your contracts or putting down correct information, you have just lied. And to an extent, him lying on the one contract saying there's only 1,000 people in attendance is very much illegal, which is why everyone got get out of the event, because they were beyond capacity, because they lied about how many people were attending. And it's just overall going to get you in trouble. So please don't lie on your paperwork, because it's going to get you in trouble. That's all I've got to say for now. If you want to hear the story, I'll probably do the story about what I did in order to start my convention with my friend. But that'll be for another time. If you want, you can find me on any of my other social medias. I hope you're having a wonderfully creative day wherever you are, and that you make sure to do what you do to make that artwork for you. Lots of love. Bye.